We all have our favorite foods, right?
Right.
But did you know that plants have their favorite foods too? My plant's favorite is fish emulsion. That's right. Rotten, nasty, smelly fish all blended up in a smoothie, packed full of nutrients. This is not an ad.
I'm getting hungry already.
I kid you not though. Every time I feed my plants fish, they grow visibly. They go from this big to that big overnight. That might be an exaggeration, but pretty close. I'm so excited today, guys, because I have my brother-in-law Sean here with me.
Ta-da.
And he's going to show you how to set up our Venturi system, and it makes our lives so much easier. Fertilizing goes so fast and it's so easy with this simple method. But before we get started, I want to show you how I fertilize seedlings in the tray. You need a container that is at least 4 to 6 inches deep so that you can get 2 to 3 inches of water in the bottom of your tray. Then you take the fish fertilizer, aka fish smoothie, and you mix it with the water. I don't have a specific recipe that I follow. I just pour a few tablespoons of the concentrate in the water until it turns light brown and mix it up. Then I take the tray and I put it into the container full of fertilizer. Now what happens is the fertilizer is drawn up from the bottom of the tray to the top, and that helps the plug get fully saturated. Whereas if I just take a watering can and pour over the top, those nutrients will get to the leaves and stuff, but they may not necessarily get all the way down to the ends of the roots where it really matters. So this is a very effective way of doing it. It's easy. It is so worth it to see your seedlings growing and thriving on their fish smoothie.
Fancy dancy Venturi Device. So named because of the Venturi effect, which is a decrease in pressure created when water flows through a constriction in a pipe or cylinder, which translates to suction in this tube. So we have installed our Venturi device with a bypass here. In order to get yours to work, you'll have to start with a little bit of math. Calculate the entire, like all of your drip tape or all of your sprinkler heads. What is the flow per minute in gallons? Because these Venturi devices come in multiple different sizes, and it's clearly visible when you go to buy one what the flow range is. In this case, we're using a 3/4.
How do I know how to calculate the flow per minute and all that kind of stuff?
Right, so if you buy your irrigation pipe from Irrigation King, for example, hashtag not an ad, in the description of your drip tape, it will tell you how many gallons per minute per foot. So if you have, say, 0.6 of a gallon per foot, per minute, you have 100 gallons, that's 60 gallons. You're going to have to do a little bit of equations. If you hate equations, ask the 6th grader, because they're doing equations. And so you figure out the entire water usage of your system. And the reason why you have to know that is that if your flow is too low, it won't create a suction. If it's too high, again, it won't create a suction. You'll just get backflow. So we picked this one because this is correct for the range, the amount of piping we have out there in the field. And then we installed it on a bypass, which actually gives us some flexibility. You can install these in line, but they work on the principle of a differential of pressure. So you have to have high pressure on one side, lower pressure on the downwind side. In this case, high pressure, this is the water supply. This is lower pressure because there's leaks in the pipe, right? So that creates the pressure differential, which creates the suction here. Now, in order to ensure that this is so, we actually installed it on a bypass, which just means if this valve is completely open, most of the water is going to go this way. That's the point of least resistance. But as we close this, it forces more and more water, increasingly, more and more water through here, and therefore we got a little bit of wiggle room, right? So that's why we set it up in this kind of loop. You want a shut off directly across from the Venturi device. Water comes in, water goes out. Now, if you want to put it in line, you can do it in line. You just have to be more specific with your math even yet. If you have a pump in line, you can actually do the same thing. If I have a pump here, water's coming in, water's going out. This is now the high pressure side, this is low, because the pump is here. Pump is increasing the pressure. So I could install this Venturi device, but backwards. High pressure, low pressure. The water would come actually here into the Venturi device and double back through my low pressure side, and I could still inject my fertilizer that way. So here we go. I suppose we'll show you how to work it step by step, which is far less complicated than just listening to me blab and blab and blab. Can't really see. Right, so here we have it. We've installed it in line. High pressure on this side, low pressure on this side. To fire it up, we'd start with the injector valve closed, this valve all the way open. We'll open this valve slowly, slowly. There we have it. And then we would open this valve.
Fish smoothie here from Alaska. Really from Home Depot, but you know. And we're just gonna put
Some.
Oh! Mix it up so it have a stick. Alright.
Open up the main line, high pressure, low pressure. Slowly start turning off to redirect water past the Venturi device until a suction is created. And you'll know the suction is created when you start seeing the bubbles.
You want it to go at a nice slow pace because if you send it sucking through really fast, all the fertilizer is going to end up in your first couple lines. So you want it to go at a nice slow pace. And if your whole hose is brown, the way you tell what rate it's going at is to just pull it out, let some air bubbles in, and then watch how fast the air bubbles disappear.
The bucket ought to last 5 to 10 minutes. By that time you know that this has gotten all the way down to the corner of the field and that you're not sending most of it in.
Thanks so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed this video. We love you guys. If you have any questions or comments, please use the box below. Have a great day.